Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Suci Aminah. I'm from class PBA 4, English Education Study Program, Faculty of Tarbiyah and Teaching Science, UIN Raden Fatah, Palembang. I want to explain about my assignment of the subject of academic speaking, titled The Importance of English Subject in Elementary School Curriculum by Mariska Sepyanda, SPD. Name, English Language, Teaching and Research, Volume 1. Before I explain about my summarize, I wanna tell you about abstract, this article. The curriculum change in Indonesia bring another problem for English subject in elementary school. The subject cannot be found in curriculum 2013 or K13, while it was one subject stayed in previous curriculum known as KTSP. It becomes current issue in education area. Some people agree that English subject should not be included as subject for elementary school students, because it is more important for the students to learn Bahasa Indonesia as first and national language. On the other hand, some people state that it is important because English is international language that should be learned by everyone in the world. Then, elementary school is the right level to start introduction English as foreign language because of the students' golden age. They will get easier to learn this subject in the next school levels. In fact, English as foreign language is very important to be learned since early age, especially for the student in elementary school. They have to learn English in line with Bahasa Indonesia that being learned as their first language. Elementary school students as young learners need to get English as one of subject in their school because they have high interest in learning new things such as English that starting commonly used in daily life. So, it is important to take English as one of subject in elementary school curriculum with several considerations. A. Introduction. English is not new subject for the student at schools. Recent years, the students have learned English since they was at elementary school. Some of them already know English since they was at kindergarten. The reason is simple. It is because of the identity of English as international language. The use of English as global language has affected point of view of many people that make them want to learn English, at least for communication purpose. In addition, we can find many English terms that have been already used in any aspects of our life. One of the examples in advertisement that usually English term to make their product become more interesting. It shows us that English is not only found at schools as a subject, but it is also discovered indirectly in daily life through various media. So that is why many people ask their children to learn English earlier because of the communication purpose. Recently, English subject that is usually found in elementary school curriculum is disappeared. It doesn't belong to one subject taught at elementary school anymore like in KTSP, Kurikulum Tingkat Satuan Pelajar. The previous curriculum 13, focuses on the use Bahasa Indonesia as national language, where some communities think that Bahasa Indonesia is more important to be taught at elementary school than English as foreign language. However, this curriculum still has weaknesses that should be evaluated and revisited in order to reach and the best education goals. In KTSP, English subject for elementary school students was stated clearly through the brief content that led the student to learn the 4 basic skills like listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It was categorized as muatan lokal, where the student learned English once a week, even though it was allocated in limited time. Teaching English at elementary school is really helpful for the student when they start entering junior high school. It is because of the basic material that they have learned in elementary school. Teaching English in elementary school is more concerned with the upper level, grade 4 until 6. The students are engaged with the 4 basic skills. Meanwhile, for the lower level, it tends to introduce the student with vocabulary. It depends on the school policy whether the student in lower level get English as their subject or not. At least through learning English in elementary school as muatan lokal. The student had no English for their starting before entering junior high school that have more complicated material. The situation is really different from curriculum 2013 that do not take English as one important subject that should be taught at elementary school. The students do not learn English at elementary school anymore. They may learn English as extracurricular, where there is no specific time allocation and the students do not have to take the subject. In fact, English as international language is an interesting subject that should be learned by the student. Even some of them think that English is not important subject. There are several reasons why teaching English at elementary school is important. First, it is widely used a global language that covers many aspects of life. Second, elementary school students as young learners are the best place to learn English as foreign language. Then it will help the student easier to learn English as the main subject in the next school's levels. Based on the explanation above, it can be seen that English is important to be taught at elementary school, whereas it is not included in curriculum 13 as subject that should be learned by the student at elementary school on their primary schedule. Logically, it should be studied in the national curriculum even though it is not our first or second language. The student need to be introduced with English as foreign language that become more frequently used in daily life. Thus, this paper would like to give an overview about the importance of English subject in elementary school curriculum. B. Review of related theories. 1. English for young learners. A. Concept of young learners. Elementary school students can be categorized as young learners because they are in the early age that start from 6 until 12 years old. Most of students in Indonesia start entering elementary school when they are 6 years old. This age is considered as the right pace to learn formally at school. Suyanto, 2008, states that young learners are the students in elementary school have aged between 6 until 12 years old. It means that students who have entered elementary school can be categorized as young learners, where they are starting to learn material that has been designed for their age. Young learner consists of two groups. They are young group 6 until 8 years old and older group 9 until 12 years old. While based on their class, it can be called as lower classes student that included grade 1 until 3 and upper class includes grade 4 until 6. Commonly, English in elementary school is learned by the student in upper classes. According to Scott 2004, the young language learners have divided the children into main groups, the 5 to 7 years old and the 8 and 10 years old. There are the 5 to 7 years old are all at level 1, the beginner stage. The 8 to 10 years old may also be beginners. It seems different from starting age in Indonesia. B. Characteristic of young learners. Elementary school students are learners that can imitate something easily, such as language. In learning a language, the student needs an environment surrounded by targeted language that is meaningful because of the context and because of the way the teacher speaks to them. In teaching young learners, teachers should know their characteristics in order to have simplicity in understanding them. The characteristics cover their ways of thinking, attitude, aptitude, and learning language. Furthermore, it can be concluded that the characteristics of young learners are very different from adult learners. They are very active and need to be stimulated through physical activities. They are also easily interested in new things that they had never known before. Because of that, teaching English as foreign language is something unique for them. Teachers need to be creative and have big challenge in the teaching and learning process. 2. Curriculum change in Indonesia. A. Concept of curriculum. Curriculum is part that has role to reach the national education goals. It makes important role in guiding the teachers and related stakeholders to achieve the goals. Curriculum also can be used to predict expected outcomes of teaching because it shows what things need to be learned and what activities should be expired by students. Curriculum in Indonesia refers to a set of planning and organization of them. Content and learning material as the guidance to learning activity to achieve a particular educational objective. Republic of Indonesia, number 20 years, 2003. It means that curriculum is resourced to achieve educational goals, as well as guidance in the implementation of education. It contains specific guidance for the components of education in implementing the educational purpose. So, curriculum is a set of lessons and academic content used to be taught in a school. Curriculum refers to the knowledge and skills students are expected to learn, which includes the curriculum refers to the knowledge and skills students are expected to learn, which includes the learning standards of learning objective they are expected to meet and other components related to the teaching and learning process. B. The history of Indonesia curriculum. Indonesia curriculum. In the course of history since 1945, the national curriculum has undergone change, namely in 1947, 1952, 1964, 1968, 1975, 1985, 1994, 1999, and 2004 and 2006. The change are the logical consequence of the change of political systems, socio-culture, economic, science and technology, and society and nation. Therefore, the education curriculum as a set of plans should be developed dynamically in accordance with the demands and change taking place in society. Most of national curriculum was designed based on the same foundation, namely Pancasila and the 1945 Constitution. The differences in emphasis of the basic education goals and approaches to make it happen. So, curriculum has changed following the education development. The change can affect a particular component, but may also be related to all components of the curriculum. Curriculum change involves various factors, both those involved in education and supporting factors in the implementation of education. As a consequence, the curriculum will also lead to change in the implementation of the curriculum, both for people involved in the education and other supporting factor in curriculum implementation. C. English subject in Indonesia curriculum. English is learned as foreign language by the student at schools, according to Purwaningsi 2014. The development of curriculum in Indonesia, especially for English subject, can be categorized into several periods. They are curriculum 1975, curriculum 1986, curriculum 1994, kurikulum berbasis kompetensi (KBK), and kurikulum tingkat satuan pendidikan (KTSP) on the previous curriculum. English has been introduced to be taught at schools, especially in elementary school. It was begun since the implementation of kurikulum berbasis kompetensi (KBK). It became more intense when KTSP implemented, where the elementary school more students got English as subject known as muatan lokal. Now, since curriculum K13 has been implemented, English is not taught in elementary school subject. It doesn't belong to primary time allocation, where it depends on the school policy to take English as extracurricular subject or not. In other words, the development of teaching English as foreign language in elementary school has stopped. C. Discussion. Implementing a curriculum K 2013. The change KTSP becomes problem for several subjects that usually included on the primary schedule. English is one of subjects that not included on this new curriculum, whereas it had been taught as a subject for elementary school students, this change brings various impact to relate stakeholders. That is why this problem becomes current issue in education area. Some people who agree with this situation have two tough reasons for shifting the position of English as a subject in elementary school. First, it concerns about increasing the cognitive burden of students. If the student has to learn English on their early learning, they may get more difficulties where other subjects such as math is more complicated for them. They need to focus on basic subjects that should be learned at elementary school. The other reason is related to the concern that elementary school students are not focused on learning the national language, Bahasa Indonesia. English as foreign language should not be taught in elementary school because teaching Bahasa Indonesia more important for the student. In addition, it is related to their nationality where the student should pay more attention to Bahasa Indonesia as the first language. However, those reasons above cannot be used to make English not important to be taught for the elementary school student. There are several reasons why English should be included as a subject in elementary school. First, English has been learned widely by most of people in the world. It is most commonly used in communicating around the world. It is also used the first language in many countries, and several countries use English as second language. So it is important for the student in elementary school to be introduced with English, a foreign language. In addition, English is mostly used in publishing books, making films, music, and a lot of entertaining things. As we know, most of the children as elementary school students get entertainment through movie and music, where several of them, especially the popular movie and music, use English. The popularity is higher than movies and musics that use Bahasa Indonesia. Absolutely, the students want to know and understand what they watch and listen. Furthermore, most of elementary school students are familiar with internet and they really know how to access it. Almost more than 50% of the information on the internet is available in English. Through mastering English, the student can access in any website easily with several consideration and guidance from their parents. This condition will help the student to get more information and knowledge that support their learning. The conclusion. Curriculum 13 had replaced KTSP as previous curriculum that include English as one of subject that should be in elementary school. It becomes polemic issue because English has known as global language that being learned by most people in the world. English subject is important to be learned by the students since they are in elementary school because it will help them in learning English easier on the next school levels. Besides that, English has widely used in their daily life. Most of aspects in their life use English that need their understanding. So it's important to include English as one subject in elementary school curriculum with several considerations related to the material and student need. Thank you for watching. That's all for my summarize and presentation. I'm sorry about my mistake. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.